February 12th, and the important announcement that will be released impacting all of us and our money, especially those of you that are living on a fixed income benefit administered by the Social Security Administration. This is certainly a number we want to continue watching very closely over the coming days, weeks, and months, as this directly impacts you and your monthly benefit going forward. That's why I want to focus on this, because these announcements that will continue to come out over the coming months here will be very, very influential and very important for your money and your benefits going forward. Let me break down exactly what's going on here, as this is the first of the year, and I want to break down exactly why this is important. Now, obviously, here we are in February, right? But this announcement that will be coming out will be on the behalf of January, the first reading of the year so far. Now, this is actually going to be very interesting, because about a month ago, actually, it wasn't quite a month ago, it was about 3 weeks or so ago, we got the previous announcement out, and that was the last one of 2024. That was for December. Now, this one is going to be for January, and again, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, this is also going to be very interesting as well, because this will play into what the Federal Reserve, or the Fed, does with their next meeting in about a month from now, in mid-March, when they come out with their next meeting. And then again, that one also impacts our money, our benefits, our finances, pricing, the overall economy, this recession that we're basically knocking on the door of right now. A lot of things that are happening, okay? Anyway, what is coming out on February 12th? It is the CPI, otherwise known as Consumer Price Index, otherwise referred to as the inflation report. Now, this is interesting, because for how many years now have we been dealing with inflation? Yeah, it started ramping up kind of in early to mid-ish 2021, and here we are 4 years later, and we're still dealing with all this inflation. It's still a thing, and it's still above the 2% target that the Federal Reserve actually wants. So this is pretty important. Now, this is going to be January's inflation data. Now, as you heard me say in the late portion of, say, like 2024, I was coming back and I was saying generally November and December are somewhat inflationary. Why? Because everybody's out there buying gifts and spending more money and things like that. Generally, people are spending more money than they typically would be because of the holidays, right? So usually during November, December, we see a little bit of uptick in inflation just because of those reasons. More money being spent on goods and services, therefore it's translated into inflation as well. And then when we roll over to the new year, usually we typically see kind of like this lull in January, February, where inflation should be coming down a little bit, because people are like, hey, I spent way too much money in November and December. I'm just going to lay low for the next couple months here, and just kind of hang tight, and we'll kind of be good. So then we generally see inflation coming back down a little bit in January, February for those reasons. We'll see here, though. This number we're getting on February 12th is going to be the number for January. So this will be January's inflation data. Now, I mentioned earlier in this video, as a fixed income beneficiary receiving Social Security, SSDI, retirement, survivors, SSI, VA benefits, all of which are subject to get a COLA, cost of living adjustment, right? What is that based off of? Inflation. Do you remember the first portion of last year, 2024? For the first, I'm going to say maybe 3-4 months or so, we saw inflation ticking higher. Every month, inflation was up, and it was looking like, wow, if we continue on the same trajectory, we're going to be looking at a pretty solid COLA for this year, 2025. This was last year, by the way. And then all of a sudden, I think it was in maybe like May or something like that. I don't remember the exact month, but it was around May or so. All of a sudden, inflation just pivoted and moved the opposite direction, and then went down. And then we got stuck with a pathetic 2.5% COLA, which, by the way, you already got that by now. Just saying, you already got that, okay? It's been applied to benefits starting at the beginning of the year, okay? But anyway, if we continue to see inflation ticking back up, which, by the way, have you seen all this talk out there? I mean, you see this all over the place. It's everywhere. All these tariffs are going to increase inflation and all stuff like this. I could rattle off like 17 different reasons why inflation may go up again this year, and I could probably give you a bunch of reasons why it probably won't go up as well. But my point is, they like to point the finger at all these different things. I'm not saying that tariffs wouldn't be inflationary. Certainly, they would be inflationary, but there's a lot of other things that'll be way more inflationary than that, right? But anyway, at the end of the day, remember, these inflation numbers, even though it's kind of like, we don't really care, I'm not sure about you, but I care about them, because this translates into, and it gives us a very, well, I was going to say really bad and pathetic kind of representation of what's going on with real prices. The best representation that we can get for prices as far as what's going on in the economy and prices is when we go to our stores and buy the same old things we've bought every single week for the last however many years, because not sure about you, but it seems like Corey and I mean, many of you here in the community know her, Corey, my wife, it feels like we just buy the same, like, 23 items every week, right? Or whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe it's more than 23. I don't know. But you get my point, though, right? It's like you buy the same old things every single week. But my point is, when you go out there and you continue to see these prices holding steady or ratcheting up a little bit on different things, that's the best barometer of what's actually happening with inflation, rather than some convoluted report represented by the CPI and saying, oh my, look, inflation went down, or whatever they happen to see. So anyway, just want to bring that to your attention, okay? So this is important. At the end of the day, it impacts all of our money, all of our finances, and for those of you living on a fixed income benefit, it's still, yes, very, very, very early on in the year right now. But as I mentioned last year during this same time, we need to watch the trajectory of inflation as we move forward and toward the 3 months that actually matter, which are honestly a long time from right now, July, August, and September. That's a long time from now, right? Don't get me wrong. Can't wait for that time of year because it's actually warm outside, not freezing. Yeah, anyway, not a fan of winter. You get my point. So anyway, my point is that's a long time from now. But if we start to see inflation ticking higher now, we can start to see the trajectory. Hey, it's moving this direction, and this is where we likely might sit. So at the end of the day, inflation reports are still very important, and there's a bunch of different factors out there that could influence inflation dramatically to the upside or dramatically to the downside. And at the end of the day, also, the Federal Reserve also uses this data to determine what they're going to do with interest rates. And if you're somebody like me, floating a balance on credit cards or having debt that's outstanding with an interest rate, it's not fun these days. I'll just tell you that much, right? It's very, very expensive to hold any kind of debt these days because of the high interest rates. So anyway, so I want to leave it at that for now. I hope this helps you. But again, once we get the report there, I will dig through it and find out all the information about it, where prices are holding steady, where prices have gone up, where prices maybe have gone down, what the headline number is suggesting. This is for January. It's going to be an interesting read, the first of the year for 2025. I'll keep you posted on that. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Please stay warm out there. Otherwise, just subscribe down below. If I can ask a huge favor of you, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. Totally free to do so. Big subscribe button for you down below. Thank you. I truly do appreciate your support. Also, can you think of one or two people that benefit from this information here in this video or any of the other 5,000 plus videos here on the channel? If so, can you please feel free to share this video with them or any of the other videos here on the channel? Thank you. I just truly appreciate it. I just want to do whatever I possibly can for you to keep you updated and continue to be here for you by your side, advocating for you, representing for you, whatever I can for you, I'm here for you. Also, please check out the well over 5,000 videos here on the channel. Check out the popular videos I've hand-selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. And right now, showing up on your screen as well, you'll see some videos there. Thanks again. Please, have a nice day. I'll catch you again.